lot of NFL talk to get to, Brett, but I do want to start with some Arkansas and SEC football conversation. When you look at what Arkansas is bringing back, the entire offensive line, you think about De'Vion Warren, you think about Traylon Burks, Mike Woods, Traylon Smith. You liked what you saw from KJ Jefferson. The Razorback football account put out that they were the second in Power 5 with plays of 49 yards plus or more. Brett, how explosive do you think this Arkansas offense could be next season in year 2 of Kendall Briles?
I think very explosive. I think, obviously our offensive line is getting better. The depth of offense, everything just seems to be going in the right direction. Now, I don't know if that means we're going to jump to number 1, but if we can just stay consistent, that's what we're looking for. For us to build the program that we want, we just want to stay consistently up there in the SEC, and then as our defense and our rest of our team gets better, then, we'll start winning a lot more ball games.
Brett, you speak of consistency. That's a term associated with what's going on at Alabama with Nick Saban. And I've made the argument not just this morning, but several times. Alabama's success, I think, to a certain point, is going to be a detriment to college football. In your opinion, do you think if Alabama keeps at its current pace, that's going to hurt college football as a whole?
I don't think so, because I think there's a lot of people that like seeing it. I think a lot of the sports world, they lost a lot of viewership this year because of political stuff that happened. I think that's just obvious, and I think that it'll be a quick turnaround. It always is. But with Alabama, people love them. I mean, people love to watch somebody win, and they love to watch a team come in and actually have a chance to kind of dethrone them. So I think people, they'll watch those games when teams get better and they actually can knock off Alabama.
Yeah, and the closest thing in the NFL when you were playing, I guess, would have been the Patriots, and I don't think they were quite the dynasty maybe Alabama's been in college football. We got to remember it's been 2017 since Bama won a title. Now they've been competing there, but what's it like when you're inside and you're trying to knock off knock the king from the mountaintop, and it seems impossible? I mean, what's the view as a player when you were with the Packers and the Patriots seemed to be dominating every year? That what's that feeling like when you're preparing and trying to figure out a way to get that edge?
Well, you just want to pretend that you're the best, or you want to be the best. And the thing about it is you have to go out and beat those teams that have consistently put up good numbers every year in and year out, made it to the playoffs, and won a bunch of Super Bowls or national championships, whether it be in college. So, we always wanted to play them. And we did good, when the Patriots came to Green Bay, and then when we went to, New England, we lost. And so it's kind of a home field advantage at each other. And that's one thing that I'm actually looking forward to in the playoffs in the NFL is maybe Tom and Aaron can get together in a playoff matchup that we haven't seen them get together, and that would be exciting for us.
Do you study opponents like that? We see a lot of emulation, a lot of ADs trying to copycat, hire from the Saban coaching tree, a lot of coaches that try to borrow from Alabama. I guess when a program is winning, when a franchise is winning at that level, you take close notes, don't you?
You absolutely do. I mean, it's just like the NFL. They always call it like the Ron Wolf, GM tree, and then you've got Andy Reid coaching tree, and all these coaches that come from everywhere. That you look at the staff when, Pete Carroll was at Arkansas. When you have success, all these coaches and GMs and executives, they want to mimic the same thing because you've obviously understood it. Now, some people can do it better than others, and some actually have an issue where they want to do it a different way and it never works out for them. So if you kind of stay on the same track, yes, it helps. But, at the end of the day, you've got to get players in there. And Alabama, they lose coaches every year. But they're recruiting, their system stays the same. And, Nick has talked about it, their verbiage, Bill O'Brien's going there as offensive coordinator. Their verbiage is going to stay the same. Because everybody in the entire building knows that verbiage, so he's going to make Bill O'Brien actually learn their terminology to call plays next year.
Talking with Brett Goode, former Razorback, former Packer, here on the Morning Rush, part of the Henderson Phillips Solutions team. Brett, when you think about one of the guys that has had success against Nick Saban, it's Urban Meyer. And you could say Hugh Freeze, you could say Gus Malzahn to a certain extent. But Urban, I think, and Dabo Swinney as well, he did things at Ohio State and Florida that at least got to Saban a little bit. And really, he kind of evolved Saban's offense because of him. I'll ask you this. the Jacksonville job, I know we've asked you that before, it seems like the Jags are kind of waiting and seeing what Meyer is going to decide to do. On his decision, Tommy discussed earlier, he didn't feel like that Urban Meyer's all the way invested in this. If he's not fully invested in this idea of coaching the Jags, should Jacksonville go somewhere else?
100%. You've got to be in the office. I mean, there's coaches that sleep at their desk, and you've got to be there. For players, you get an off-season. Coaches, they get, a month here or there, and that's it. I mean, they've got a full go. Right now, the playoffs, everybody's scouting players. The guys just get picked up on practice squads, trying to get, ready for rosters for next year. And, they're getting ready for the combine, the guys that are out of the playoffs. And so, I think Urban's a little nervous about taking that job because he's won everywhere he's been. And it's the type of deal where he can't control all those guys. I know we've talked about that. And there's not been a lot of success from the offensive genius people that have come from college to the NFL and had success. And I'm sure that scares him a little bit. And so if you're not going to be all in, I think for the Jaguars, especially with the number one pick, you've got to find somebody for the long term for your organization.
You brought up your Green Bay Packers earlier. They have a matchup against the Los Angeles Rams this weekend. Big part of this game, Aaron Donald is dealing with torn cartilage in his ribs. I think I'm saying that correct. Their offense, the Los Angeles Rams, has not looked anywhere near what you thought it would under Sean McVay, especially lately. But they did get the win against Seattle last week. What are your thoughts against this matchup between your Packers and the Rams this weekend?
Well, first of all, on the defensive side of the ball for the Rams, yes, you have Donald, but you also got Ramsey, who kind of shut down Metcalf in the Seahawks game. And so, I like that matchup with him and Devontae Adams and, just for, Green Bay's offense to see what happens. And then Jared Goff's coming in there with his thumb. He's got 3 pins in it still, and, kickoff's going to be below freezing. So I think Aaron's record's, 10-0 below freezing games and Lambeau Field, so that's a good start. And those guys coming from California sure hoping that they can get a win and maybe host an NFC Championship game for the first time at Lambeau Field in Aaron's career.
All right, here's the big news with Aaron Rodgers that broke yesterday. Everyone really wants to know about, and I know you can provide some insight on this. And that's Aaron Rodgers guest hosting on Jeopardy. That's the big news from yesterday, right? So he broke this, and I think Jeopardy was a little bit upset with him that he's going to be a guest host for the late Alex Trebek, who they're searching for a host. I didn't know he had such a love and an affinity for Jeopardy, but he was quoted yesterday, and I guess he was on Pat McAfee's show, that that's a daily deal with him. What can you tell us about your buddy there that I guess makes Jeopardy an everyday deal for him?
I learned really quick that he loves to watch the show. Like, he's a true fan and loves it. And every single day he would always either record it or watch it, it's live. And so the guy went on Celebrity Jeopardy and won it. I mean, he knows the answers. He's smart, and he sits there and talks about it when he's watching it. So I'm happy for him to be able to co-host it, for Alex Trebek.
How will he do as a guest host? And this will be an off-season deal, of course, but how will he do as a guest host on Jeopardy?
I think he'll do good because he's so quick to respond to everything with, just humor and the right answer. I think he'll understand the way everything goes, and I think the show will actually go fairly smooth for him.
All right, the other divisional game on Saturday, Ravens and the Bills. This should be an interesting matchup. Bills with a close shave to get the win to move on to the divisional round.
The Bills, they didn't play very great, and the Ravens did. And I think this is the Ravens looking like the team that we all thought they were going to at the beginning of the year, and then they had some struggles. Lamar Jackson kind of went off last weekend. So I'm excited for that game. I think it's a 2.5 points, favorite for the Bills. They've got, playoff win a long time. So let's see if they can do two. Because the Bills showed all year that they were a good full team, the offense, defense, and special teams. They were pretty consistent. So it'll be interesting to see if the Ravens can kind of go in there and upset them.
Brett, we also have the Kansas City matchup this weekend against the Cleveland Browns here on ESPN 95.3 and ESPN 104.3. Now, the Cleveland Browns got a pretty fulfilling win against the Pittsburgh Steelers this past weekend. Should Kansas City be worried about the running attack of Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb?
I think so. What surprises me is that game is the highest point spread the weekend coming up, and Kansas City hasn't stopped the run real good all year. So they've got two good running backs coming in there, and then Baker's been playing well. He's been dishing it out. He hadn't been throwing a lot of interceptions, taking care of the football, and you can do that with a good defense and be able to run the ball. You know, that's a model that you can go into Kansas City and win.
Last one for the weekend, Buccaneers, Saints. If you love quarterbacks, you love watching Hall of Famers, this is your game right here. Tom Brady, Drew Brees. It's the
on
last
History Channel, right?
Maybe it should be, but who do you like in this? Can Tom Terrific do it again?
I don't know. You know, the Saints defense has been so good this year, and they've been dominant against, you know, Tom this year. The two games they've played him. That's going to be an interesting matchup to see kind of who comes out of that game and see. You know, it's always hard when a divisional opponent plays in the playoff because that's their third time of seeing each other. You saw that with the Browns and the Steelers, so anything can happen at this point.
Who do you like for the Super Bowl? I think you told us a few weeks ago. Are you still on the Packers? But is that hard overhead?
I'm still with the Packers, but you know it's interesting because if Tom comes to Green Bay, I think they've got a better chance than if New Orleans comes to Green Bay because those dome teams never really make it. So it'll be interesting to see kind of who wins this weekend.
Brett, if the Green Bay makes it to the Super Bowl, can I sport? And Kansas City makes it. I have a buddy who, and multiple listeners on the station are giant KC fans. Can I sport one of your Packers jerseys for Super Bowl Sunday?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
We can definitely do that.
Okay.
We can do that. Maybe get a helmet or something. We can figure
all
something
in.
out.
Not the ring, just the jersey.
Yeah, I don't want to take his ring, just the jersey.
I've got some of the throwback pants too. So if you want to wear those, you can wear those.
Absolutely, I am all in to do that.
All right. Brett Goode with us. He joins us every Wednesday, former Razorback, and as you heard, there's some Packers stories. He was on that Super Bowl team with the Packers. He is with us to break down the NFL and will be with us all the way through the Super Bowl on Wednesday mornings. Hey, if your company needs a review or a look at your employee benefits, whether it's health insurance, retirement plans, staffing management solutions, you need to look at your commercial or personal insurance portfolios. Brett, you do all of that. People can call you at 479-651. 651-2292. You'd love to talk about any employee benefits or insurance needs.
Absolutely. We can handle anything. We kind of go the full scale, and being in this business, that's kind of what you have to do to maintain a book of business, and that's what I'm striving to be. So if you need anything from life insurance to home to personal to commercial, just give me a shout.
All right, that's 479-651-2292. And again, as you said, personal insurance. You said you've been really busy with life insurance lately.
I've been really busy with life insurance. I think there's kind of still a lot of people that they need to take care of their families. And that's an important thing. You know, you don't have to go out and get a $2 million policy. That we sell lots of smaller policies just to kind of take care of your family and make sure your funeral's taken care of and help them out.
All right, 479-651-2292. Brett Goode with Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. All right, we'll chat next week, bud.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right.
I'm ecstatic for what is to come potentially if Brett actually lets me wear that. So I'll be cheering hard for the Green Bay Packers as they continue on.